road to Belleville is about a road trip that starts at my home in East Highland, California, and travels northeast into the heart of the San Bernardino Mountains. The route is almost entirely on California Highway 38. The journey ends in the Holcomb Valley, which is north and above Big Bear Lake. This is where the gold rush town of Belleville thrived in the early 1860s after Bill Holcomb discovered gold there. The trip is 60 miles long, and the history along the way travels back in time, more than 200 years. There are 13 historical stops on the road to Belleville, and they are marked out on this map. I'll make a short video for each stop to showcase the people and places that pioneered the rich history of the San Bernardino Mountains and foothills.
Stop 5 on the road to Belleville is well into Mill Creek Canyon. This stop is the story of SYLVANUS Thurman. Thurman Flats is only 1.8 miles past our stop 4, the story of the sawmill at the mountain gates. This map shows that Thurman Flats picnic area is west and below Mountain Home Village. This location is where SYLVANUS Thurman homesteaded land in the canyon. Shannon Ray's book, Pioneers of Mill Creek Canyon, has been the most valuable resource of information and photos I've found for the SYLVANUS Thurman and Peter Forsey stories. Mr. Forsey will be featured in the next video of Stop 6. Shannon's book is a must for enjoying the rich history of our San Bernardino Mountains, especially Mill Creek Canyon. You can purchase Shannon's book at www.shannonray.com. This aerial map looks east up Mill Creek Canyon. Past Thurman Flats is the hamlet of Mountain Home Village, where Peter Forsey's farm was located. According to the book, A History of California, an extended history of its southern coast counties, SYLVANUS was born in Taney County, Missouri on April 5, 1850. Shannon Ray's book puts his birth in 1851, and I confirmed this when I found his gravestone. In 1860, at the age of 9, SYLVANUS helped drive the oxen pulling wagons as his family moved out west. The Thurmans arrived in California, then spent some time in Oregon before settling in Southern California. As a young man, SYLVANUS met and married Ann Allison, but the union didn't last and they soon divorced. In 1878, SYLVANUS again married in the San Bernardino area, this time to a divorcee named Amanda Forsey Ball, who was a daughter of Peter Forsey. Peter Forsey is the first person who homesteaded land in Mill Creek Canyon and lived on it. Where today's Thurman Flats picnic area is the land that SYLVANUS homesteaded. He and his new bride Amanda settled downstream on Mill Creek from his new father-in-law, Peter Forsey. Mr. Thurman purchased some burros and started a service taking visitors over the mountain from Mill Creek into the Seven Oaks Valley and again over the mountains into Bear Valley. The late 1800s saw a huge increase of city people, especially from the East Coast, wanting to travel into the rugged San Bernardino Mountains. This photo from Pioneers of Mill Creek Canyon shows SYLVANUS on horseback along with some travelers on his burros at his cabins at Bluff Lake. After several years, SYLVANUS found himself a bachelor again. He did not want to divorce, but his wife Amanda did. SYLVANUS stayed in Mill Creek Canyon and grew his business. Frank Brown, another San Bernardino mountain pioneer, enters into the story. This is a photo of civil engineer Frank Brown. Edward Judson and Frank Brown purchased land and started a development in what is to become the city of Redlands in 1881. Redlands was incorporated into a city in 1888. Frank Brown oversaw the project to dam Bear Valley and store water for the needs of a growing city of Redlands. Redlands fast became the premier navel orange growing area of America, and a steady water supply was needed to maintain the orange groves and the growing community. This is a California state historical photo of the original Bear Valley Dam. Frank Brown employed Sylvanus Thurman and his burros to explore the San Bernardino Mountains and to pack supplies into Bear Valley once the construction of the dam commenced. From the Redlands Historical Society comes this photo of Frank Brown standing and Sylvanus Thurman sitting in the Whitewater Creek area. Pioneers of Mill Creek Canyon explains that in November of 1899, Sylvanus was granted a state land patent of 120 acres at Bluff Lake to develop a resort for travelers. I shot this video of what Bluff Lake looks like today. Much different than the late 1890s. My photo above the meadow at Bluff Lake shows Sugarloaf and San Gorgonio peaks in the distance. The cabins are gone now, and Bluff Lake is an ecological reserve owned by the Wildlands Conservancy. In the days of Mr. Thurman, there was no lake like this photo shows. The area was a summer camp for decades, and there was a dirt berm put in to increase the volume of water, making it look like a real lake. In 1893, Sylvanus married for the third and last time to Mary Abby Pillsbury. Known as Abby, she was a teacher from New Hampshire. This photo from Pioneers of Mill Creek Canyon is a portrait of the Thurmans. Sylvanus owned a sizable piece of land in the Crafton area, as well as his property in Mill Creek Canyon and the Bluff Lake area. In his later years, he invested in Angora goats for their wool and ability to eat vegetation down low enough to make fire breaks in the mountain foothills. Another photo from Pioneers of Mill Creek Canyon here shows an aging pioneer. Sylvanus sold his land at Bluff Lake, choosing to live in Crafton. He passed away in March of 1920 at the age of 69. I found Mr. Thurman's grave at the Hillside Memorial Cemetery in Redlands and took a photo of his unassuming headstone. Mountain man, pioneer entrepreneur, Sylvanus Thurman's memory will live on the road to Belleville.